Hello and welcome to the Sci-Fi Christian. I'm Ben DeBono.
I'm Emily Kirkwald.
And I'm Ben Kirkwald.
And we haven't watched the episode yet because we wanted to talk. It's actually not even on yet. It's 7:40 here, so we have 20 minutes to go. But we're going to talk a little bit about last week because you guys were in Canada. How was Canada?
Yeah,
it was
really
amazing.
good.
Caught
No
the biggest fish in my
technology.
life. It was great.
Yeah, Canada's kind of a weird place because it just doesn't seem like it's another country.
No, I described it as the Alabama to the north.
Yeah, that's kind of
It's
right.
about, I think, how to describe Canada.
Like, I kind of feel like Canada, because we've been doing fan theories, weird
Right.
fan theories. Here's my weird fan theory about Canada, is that it really is part of America, we just haven't let them know yet. Eventually, we're just going to move the border 10 miles
Right.
north and be like,
That's like
Sorry.
90% of the population right there.
exactly,
It's like,
exactly.
oh, I guess that's fine.
But
Yeah.
we still go quite a ways after.
Yeah, we go 200 miles north, so
Yeah.
we'd still be like above the wall or whatever.
There you go, yeah. Yeah, that's where you should build a wall. Alright, so we're going to go over a couple things quick. I have I did my 5 bold Game of Thrones predictions.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about those. But then you guys just watched last week's episode, so you were unhappy previously in the season because things weren't moving. Are you happier?
Yeah, things are moving along.
Yeah.
I guess I'm disappointed at Dany's storyline. I mean, I think a lot of fans, including myself, thought that it wasn't going to be easy, but we didn't think that she was just going to be, at least through the first 3 episodes, just completely demolished by the time that she is ready to attack. She's got half her army on the other side of the world. She's got her ships are all gone, and so
Right. Yes.
I think that-
last time I was like, well, she still has that fleet. No,
it's like,
never
well, no,
mind.
Euron somehow did that and then got all the way around. He must just follow.
Use
him.
one of those Game of Thrones portals.
Oh my,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, no.
Yeah.
So that was interesting, and I know in your video last week, because I watched that after we had watched it too. She is probably. I mean, she's trying not to play the game of Throne. Like she's trying not to do that, and I think what she's probably going to realize when she finds out that all the ships are gone and that she's holding a castle she can't actually hold is that you have to actually play the game.
Right.
So
Look at it
she's
this
gonna-
way. It's like, speaking of Canada and America, if America wanted to go to war with Canada, we could destroy them in 5 minutes. You know, we could just nuke Canada, it's gone, and their
Right.
one tank wouldn't stand a chance. But because imagine we want to be honorable in the way we're taking over Canada.
Right.
It becomes a lot more of a fair fight. That's essentially what's happening here. Dany has way more firepower than Cersei,
Right.
but she doesn't want to use it.
Right. And so I do think that, yeah, she's going to just release the Dothraki on them. I don't know if I buy quite yet that she's going to lose control of them. It will be interesting to be like, thanks for helping me.
Yeah.
Like, you can leave now. I don't know that we have thought of an exit strategy there.
That's true.
Because they're going to be like, there's all these people everywhere.
They
and,
can have
like,
Dorne. They can have Dorne.
Yeah, maybe they'll just have Dorne. That's the same climate probably, right?
Yeah.
Right?
So this was one of my theories that you're addressing, is that I think she's going to lose control of the Dothraki.
Yeah.
Here's why I think that's going to be, that could even happen tonight, I think, is that I imagine the Dothraki are getting a little antsy, because they're not just warlike people, but they're roaming, they're nomadic, right? So I'm imagining the Dothraki are getting a little antsy, and that's going to be the next domino to fall. Eventually, though, she'll gain back control of them by saying have at it and go commit atrocities and all that.
Right, yeah. And I think war is messy and you have to do things you don't want to do in order to win a war. I think George R. R. Martin has been really good at portraying that throughout the entire series with evil people for the most part, and now all of a sudden that it's this character where we've seen her do everything right, that I think a lot of people are going to have a hard time watching her not do those things.
Are we still going to be cheering for Dany by the end of the season?
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I might not be. Sam and Jorah, that was good.
Yep.
Tyrion and Jon. I like that. The Jon and Dany stuff, I think, it felt a little forced. Just a lot of back and forth. Clearly, they're butting heads, and they can't. Yeah, they're both kind of set in their ways. They're both Targaryens, right? So,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, I wonder if there's. I mean, I'm sure Martin will do it, but I wonder. Like, there's not very many ways you can do that meetup without it feeling a little awkward.
right. And
Just
so,
in the sense, which isn't to excuse it, because I think you're right that it's cool, but it's also weird. It's like
Yeah.
you two are in different shows.
right?
Kind of.
Yeah, you've like not
Right.
supposed to see each
We've
other
been watching
ever.
these two parallel shows, and
Right. So, I like that. I think it was good. I think Dany gave up a little, and Jon is
yeah,
giving up a little too. Kind of. I mean, they're just.
they're
He
learning
Trying
made
how
a
to-
sacrifice by coming
Right.
there.
Yeah,
I think one of my favorite things was Jon said while they were sitting in the throne room that they're kids playing this game.
yes,
Because in reality, they actually are the kids of the people. Like,
yes,
Tywin Lannister is dead, the Mad King is dead, Ned is dead,
right.
who's essentially his father. Like, all that
We're
they're the
into
next
the next,
generation of the Game of Thrones, and it's just
That's an interesting perspective just on the series as a whole. That considered it really is about the main players are this older generation, and then it gets passed on.
right.
Yeah.
And are they going to play the game the same way, or are they going to play it
Right.
different? Are there new rules associated with that? So
Yeah. Let me think of what else. Are you annoyed with Euron in the way I am?
yeah, you said in the thing he's a rent-a-villain, and I think he
Yes.
yeah, because there just wasn't any setup to him. I mean,
There's
He
setup
just
to nothing.
showed
Yeah.
up.
he
and
showed,
then he
yeah,
was like,
he
"Hey,
showed
I'm
up,
gonna be-"
and Ramsay, he showed up too, but the way that he showed up with Theon made it clear that he's an evil guy. This is just, yeah,
And
Just
kind of
like,
showed
hey,
up.
just-
Yeah. You
You
spend
just-
so much time wondering who is this guy and what's he doing. And,
Well, yeah, because right now Euron's, like, his climax is like, I mean, it's like a rock wall that he's just going straight up, and eventually that it's just going to go straight down because that's.
And he just seems so fickle. It seems like
yeah.
he could definitely switch sides at any time, or he doesn't really have a side. And
Well, what's his motivation? He wants to marry Cersei. Who wants to marry?
He wants to
Cersei?
marry a queen.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like he could go marry Dany if she's losing all her other stuff. Maybe that's what's
Right.
gonna happen. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
and I don't know if it's the way he's being directed or the actor, but I really don't care for his performance. I think it's too over the top.
It is over the top, I guess.
It seemed like in the books, though, every time that they talked about him, he was like this big.
He's
Like,
kind of a larger than life character.
Yeah, it's walking that line between self-parody and intense
I think
villain.
his character just feels forced.
Yes, his character's on
Just
the wrong
feels-
side of that. Yeah.
Just was not set up well, which
No.
is what it is.
Yep.
What else?
Melisandre's also driving me nuts.
That
That
Melisandre
was
Varys
really-
thing,
Yeah.
that I really liked their conversation.
their conversation was good, but then I don't understand
Yeah.
what is happening with Melisandre.
Why is
It's
she
like,
the
I'm
queen's
just like-
most trusted advisor all of a sudden? Like what?
Masande.
Oh yeah, I meant Melisandre. I like. Okay.
Oh,
I
Okay,
missed-
let's
I
slow
totally
down
missed-
here.
Wait, I didn't think she made the red priestess.
Okay.
Okay,
advisor.
Melisandre was good.
Melisandre and Varys was good, and I
Very
think
good.
that.
But
that,
I don't understand what's gonna happen with her. She's
I
just
don't
like
either.
leaving.
I don't
and-
either, but that's part of what led me to think Varys. They're setting up Varys to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
will
like
die,
their
you know,
conversation.
With
It was
the
very
foreshadowing
interesting.
that they kind of did last week.
I
think so.
If you ever betray me, blah blah blah.
Right, and
That's what
I,
I think he's done this season. Because I think Dany is going to unleash the dragons and the Dothraki. Varys, that is completely antithetical to his for the people philosophy. He will betray her. She will fry him.
yeah, okay. I think that it's interesting that Varys and Melisandre, and you could include Littlefinger in there too,
Yeah.
they're playing a different game than everybody else is playing. And we knew that Varys and Littlefinger have been playing that game, but now Melisandre with the Red God or whatever is also playing this game that seems to be even bigger than the Game of Thrones that everybody else is kind of playing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's poor word choice, I guess, but
No, I know what you're saying.
yeah, it just seems really interesting that are we going to hear about this larger worldwide game that seems to be going on instead of just this thing with Westeros? Like, is that going to be a part of it, or is that just?
I think I hope we're gonna stay laser focused on Westeros. We got 10 episodes to go. No? Yeah, 10 episodes to go.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in 5 minutes we have 9 episodes.
That's true. So, yeah, we need to knock it into world politics.
Right.
Oh, but Missandei.
Okay, yes, Missandei. That's who I meant. What the hell?
Well, so I think part of the deal here is that Dany just does not have a good setup around her. I mean, she has Tyrion.
The character so much.
Yeah, she was
this is my most trusted advisor.
Yeah. Right. No,
she
she's
wasn't
a
an
friend.
advisor, she was an interpreter and like a support person, but she wasn't ever giving advice, and what kind of experience does she have to give advice?
She was the toy in the Happy Meal when she bought the Unsullied. Like that.
But I think
that's all she was.
But I think that maybe to a larger degree, the fact that an interpreter is her and Tyrion are the two best people she has advising her is pretty. I mean, Tyrion's good. He's been in battle once before and read some books about it. But I mean, they're going to go to war, and she doesn't have anybody that's been to war by her side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of frightening.
True.
I mean, that part of it is a little bit scary, and clearly she's lost all of her ships because she can't think that far ahead, and she doesn't have people surrounding her that can think that way. And Jaime and Cersei can think that way, and Euron can think that way. And so
I get what you're saying from Dany's perspective. I guess I'm more just annoyed by the direction the character's taken. Like, you know, she's getting it on with Grey Worm. And they've taken her from, like you said, this timid girl to...
Is she even a POV character in
No.
the books?
No,
she's just a, just a fly on the wall sometimes. Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah.
But I did like the end with the Queen of Thorns.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that was...
I think it's perfect that she like confessed to Jaime at the end, because that is something that can hurt Cersei, because she is so set that Tyrion is the one who killed Joffrey. And
but she's we talked about this on the way to church this morning, which
you're right.
But it's like, I don't think Cersei's gonna. Jaime might tell her, but Cersei's not gonna believe it. And so, and she's going to be even more set, and she's going to think that Jaime's trying to be against her, and their relationship might be a little bit more torn apart because of that too.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, I don't think that she's going to be like, oh, well, now I love Tyrion. But I think that there is now going to be some doubt in Cersei's mind, and she, you know...
I don't think there'll be doubt in Cersei's mind, but I think there'll be doubt in Jaime's mind.
Yes.
And if there's doubt in Jaime's mind, that sets up the conflict between those two characters.
Yes. Yeah, I heard a comment on Olenna that she's the only character to win her own death scene. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
She goes down swinging.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
And then Bran shows up.
Bran,
remember the
most
night
awkward family reunion. Right? And just it was just kind of sad that they didn't have this like brother sister.
Yeah, but
reunion.
is Bran even human anymore?
That's what I was gonna say. Like
we can move that later.
He talks just so robotically. He's just so methodical in all of his thoughts now, because he's seen a lot at this point, just in snippets. He says.
Yeah.
But he's seen a lot of the world, and he's just kind of in this stupor almost of just. Telling things the way that they are.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. I mean, he's essentially him.
I mean, confirmed who the character is now, but But just from, I don't know,
so,
a pro Stark's perspective, it was sad.
Right.
You felt bad for Sansa.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she thought she was gaining a brother, but she's not. Yeah.
So I had two theories on Sansa. One is that she's going to betray Jon with him in the south. She's going to stage a coup in the north. And that's part of that. She or Littlefinger or someone around here is going to make an attempt on Bran's life.
Somebody might try to kill Bran, especially Littlefinger. When it's like, whoa, you can like see stuff because I've done stuff that, right. So that I buy. Sansa.
But what, you think she's gonna make an alliance with Cersei?
No, I think she's going to stage a coup in the north.
Okay.
It's either when she finds out Jon is a Targaryen, or when it's clear that Jon isn't coming back, or that he's working with Dany, or the Lords get restless or something like that. But she's got the Cersei hair. She is the new Cersei.
I don't know.
You're not buying. That's okay.
I mean,
I'll probably be wrong.
It could very well happen. Well, that's why we're filming this before, because I don't want to come in with all these things about the last episode.
Yeah, all my 5 predictions will be in an hour from now.
And then what was your last one? Arya is going to kill Sansa.
So that was for season 8.
Yeah,
I think
next season Arya's going to kill Sansa.
Yes.
Oh. Because you see Sansa going down this evil path.
Season 8, Cersei's going to be dead, I think. I think she'll die at the end of this season. And then in season 8, Sansa will be filling in the Cersei role. Arya will kill her.
Yeah, I buy that.
The way I got to that just logically is Arya's list. Okay, so she's been ticking off the names on her list. Right. But who is she not going to get to? We know she won't kill Cersei because Jaime's going to kill Cersei, and that's the prophecy, right? I mean, that's like the new thing of Jon is Targaryen. That's the whole big open secret that everybody knows at this point, is that Jaime's going to kill Cersei. So Arya can't kill Cersei. So she kills new Cersei.
What if she does, though? What if it's like
What if she kills Jaime and then uses Jaime's face to kill Cersei?
Holy smokes.
That would be... Then it would be like a double. Like, Jaime killed Cersei, but Arya got to kill Cersei.
Whoa. Okay, that would be cool. That would be cool. All right.
The only thing is, only reason I don't buy that is that's cool. That's not thematically satisfying for Jaime and Cersei's narrative.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
all the build-up is for
all right.
to really kill
so this is all going to be wrong in an hour when we come back and we do the post video. We're going to go, well, sorry about all that.
All right, let me go get beer cups and my wife, and we'll start the video.
All right.
In that order.
That's right. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, well, I think we're back. I thought about putting that up as a different video, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'll just throw it on the front of this one. But in case I change my mind later, here we are again. So we just saw the episode The Spoils of War, which we had to look up the title because HBO screwed up in their app. They just had it listed as Game of Thrones episode 64, which was less than helpful.
Is that even episode 60? Well, yeah. It's the 7th season. So.
Right, yep. Which, they've had these nice 10-block seasons. Now the counting's going to be all screwed up next year. So let's think here. So they're going to have all of a sudden 73. Yep. They could get to an even 75. Yeah. I do literature. I don't do math. All right. Lots of questions here. Before we get to that, well, let me think. You're going to stick around for a while and give your thoughts. We have another crazy fan theory. We're going to pull out the pipes later.
Right.
We have Central Waters Scotch Ale.
Yes.
So we'll open that. Well, you're ready to open it now, so you go for it here.
Yeah. All right.
I'm still finishing up my my home brew here.
My local liquor store, they just, I walked in yesterday, the day I came back from Canada, and they had all the Oktoberfests already out. So I bought a 6-pack of my favorite one that is usually gone by the time October rolls around. So
what is your favorite one?
The Central Waters Oktoberfest. That one is one of my favorites. Central Waters is out of Wisconsin. I think it's Amherst, Wisconsin.
But we won't hold that against them.
Yeah, Amherst, Wisconsin. And then they also do specialty 4-packs.
Yeah.
They have a Scotch Ale. They have a barley wine. And their Scotch Ale is one of my favorite ones. It's a bourbon barreled Scotch Ale. So after they brew it, they throw it in and I think they let it secondary in the bourbon barrels.
Right.
So you get that extra flavor to it. So,
yeah, I remember one time when we were hanging out, you brought a 4-pack of one of the
the
Central
barley
Waters.
wine, I think, yeah.
And we each drank 2, and they were like, what was the ABV on this?
It's like, it's like 72 or something. I don't even know what the ABV is.
Yeah, just about.
I'll have to look.
But yeah, we're heavy drinking tonight because this homebrew was a 9.5.
It didn't taste like a 9.5. It tasted like a 5 or 6.
Well, it will
Just
sneak
wait.
up on you.
I might sleep over tonight.
That's dangerous because yes. All right. So a lot to talk about in this episode. I think that the showrunners are reading your mind because after episode 2 you were saying, well, it's okay, but nothing happened. Then last week all sorts of stuff happens, and then you were like, well, it's okay, but there's no dragons.
I know. Now we're good. Now
Yes.
I feel satisfied. This was a satisfying episode.
Next episode, Cersei's gonna die, and then all your things.
Oh shoot! The next episode. I forget what it was called. I'll look it up while you guys are talking.
Okay. So I think we have a lot to talk about, and we'll talk about the battle at the end more in depth. But quick poll here on the couch: is Jaime dead? Yes or no?
No.
No, because he just can't be.
He just can't be. Well, he can be.
Yeah.
Did you forget what show you're watching?
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
You love that.
But I mean,
Everything's building up to him killing Cersei. How can he just drown?
It's not a thematically satisfying death.
And he needs to have a reunion with Tyrion and have some kind of dialogue there. Like, it just. Did I tell you guys how I wanted Jaime's story to end?
no.
Like, after he kills Cersei, I want somehow the way that he kills Cersei to be to help Dany and, like, either Dany
just be the
witnesses
exact
it,
same Mad
and-
King scenario, essentially.
kind of, like, in reverse. But then I want Dany
that's
to
good.
welcome Jaime to her Queen's Guard. That's where I want him to end.
Oh, he's gonna end dead. Jaime's not making it out of this alive.
I think he will.
But yeah,
But
the
today,
Kingslayer
he's
becomes
not
the
dying by
Queenslayer.
drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. So I'm going to vote no for the same reason, but there are 2 things that make me suspicious. One is that we went to silence when the credits hit, which is always very ominous.
Yes.
And number 2 is I don't trust this show when it comes to ambiguous deaths after Stannis. Like, I spent a whole season expecting Stannis to just show up again. And
But
Literally
that's
And the Hound
Stannis.
came back.
That's not Jaime.
yeah, but they really botched. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about ambiguity as a storytelling tool. I love ambiguity in the right place, but there's also a wrong place for it. And the Stannis death was the wrong place for it. You know, to cut with Brienne swinging the sword, like, you needed to see him dead. Especially a show that just generates so much theorizing.
Right.
So I feel like, again, they need to confirm one way or another next week is Jaime dead.
Right.
Yeah.
So assuming
And
he's
they
not
will.
dead,
And I honestly think that next week's episode is going to open up with Bronn, who I'm assuming is the one that threw him in the water.
excuse me.
I'm assuming Bronn's the one that threw him in the water.
Yes.
He'll be the one that rescues him because he's not wearing a full suit of armor.
And then they have their Tyrion reunion.
And that, well, yeah, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah.
But then, how is he gonna kill? Is he gonna
Well-
be sent? Well, is he gonna be
a prisoner?
sent? See, now I feel like we're getting too far into this instead of the rest of the episode. But is he gonna be sent just as he was sent earlier to like go infiltrate? Because
Right.
if you think all the way back to Sansa's mom's name is
Catelyn.
Catelyn releases him and
But
says,
you can call her Sansa's mom if that helps.
Catelyn releases
Jaime.
Jaime to go in.
Do you need a list?
This 9.5.
Yeah, that was like a 5 or a 6, right?
Yeah, definitely. So Catelyn sends Jaime down to go and get her daughters freed. Perhaps Dany sends him back and says, "Tell her about these dragons and what I did with a third of my army and I wiped out your entire army and it wasn't even a problem and my dragon took a hit.
So Jaime's going to get back to Cersei with just this long list of messages. Number 1, Olenna killed Joffrey.
Yeah.
Number 2, there are dragons.
If that's
Number
the case,
3, Qyburn's weapon sucks.
right.
Did
Or
not go
Bronn
well.
pulls him out and they somehow escape and they get back to King's Landing and he does it that way. But I don't think he's dead. That's not...
It just would be so not satisfying.
Well, Bronn is switching sides.
You think?
Oh, totally.
Well,
That was-
So then who
he's always
saved...
been more
Or
loyal
was
to
that
Tyrion, right?
Dickon that saved him maybe?
It could be, but Bronn is switching sides because they said this
Yeah.
up in the openings. I was pissed because I should have made that one of my 5 predictions. Which, by the way, well, let's do an update on those at the end. I think I'm definitely wrong about one of them now, but I think I'm close to being right about a couple others. So Bronn's gonna switch sides. They set that up in the opening scene, and then he loses his saddlebag of gold in the final battle.
Yeah.
Tyrion's there. He's still alive. Bronn is as good as flipped.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, I should have predicted that. I could have been claiming victory right now.
Right?
Or near victory. Alright, let's go back to that.
And, yeah.
Well, the beginning was Jaime and Bronn, but let's come back to that. We only had one scene in King's Landing, so let's just knock that out of the way. With Cersei and the Iron Bank. Now, I think at the end, didn't they say that the gold had been delivered?
No,
They
the
said
gold
it
had...
crossed the border.
Oh, they crossed the border to King's Landing?
That's what I thought he said. He
He
crossed
said
the
it's
border
in King's Landing.
So I was that as
Landing.
inside the wall.
But I.
Was Dany burning the gold at the end, I guess is the question.
She was
That's
burning
what I
the-
interpreted.
They didn't say anything about gold on Dragonstone, though. They said everything about wheat on
Right.
Dragonstone. So she was burning the supplies so that King's Landing would not survive the winter, which actually was probably a good tactical point for them, because now all of a sudden you have people starving. People starving will revolt against their leader.
Right. So we're assuming the gold made it to King's Landing.
Jaime was riding with some of that gold. Didn't they say we need to make sure all these supplies?
Because I maybe have to watch it again, but it's a little ambiguous in that because she's burning all the cards. She doesn't necessarily have to know what's in the cards.
Right.
Was that some of the gold?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes because it makes more sense what they were setting up, but the
Right.
dialogue
Yeah, he's
made it
like,
sound like it
once
was inside
all
the gates.
gets
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And maybe the first part of it was there.
Right.
Like maybe
Yeah.
Jaime sent the first half of it, and then they were working on the second. Because didn't they say like we need to get the rest of these people across the river before
Right.
whatever? So
Yeah, it was a little confusing dialogue, and maybe
Yeah.
we can go back and parse it, or well, this is the internet, so somebody else will
somebody
do it for
they
us.
already did it. It's in the comment section. It's fine.
But yeah, it's a little confusing what the status of the gold is at this point, but I'm sure we'll find out. All right. Well, since Dany loops back around to Jaime, let's talk about everything at Winterfell first.
Yes, that was a long scene
Yeah.
at Winterfell. That's probably the longest scene
Really?
at Winterfell since like
Yeah, if we
season
take out
one.
Cersei, we have three locations in this episode. We have Jaime, Dany, Winterfell.
Jeez.
That's it. Which is, the show is converging, everyone.
Right?
Okay, so Littlefinger gives a present to Bran.
Yeah, surprising that they just let Littlefinger be in a room alone with Bran.
Well,
I
sure
don't
they
know.
would. They don't know the
I
story
feel like
behind that.
I don't know.
Doesn't it's
Well-
Catelyn and Ned
Yeah.
and Littlefinger that know about that, and probably Varys.
But no, it was Joffrey who tried to kill Bran.
Right, who hired somebody to.
Yes,
yeah,
not Littlefinger.
but Littlefinger gave it to Tyrion.
He
But
lost-
he's
yeah.
still involved. You
Right,
know what I
of
mean?
course he's
Like,
involved. Yes. Yeah.
I don't. Anyway. Yes.
I thought it was great though. And Bran's like, "Thanks for the dagger. Chaos is a ladder." It's like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was,
And
and you know what?
Littlefinger's
Honest,
like,
I hope that Bran there, taking your point of view out where Bran's gonna loop around and Bran is the old man in the tree, that out, I hope that he knew what he was doing by doing that with Littlefinger. And I think that he did.
Well, this raises an interesting question. what are Bran's powers? We know he can warg. We know he can see the past. Can he see the future?
That has not been determined
yet. It seemed like his montage vision that we saw of the White Walkers would be of the future of them coming over the wall. But
not necessarily.
No.
White Walkers were around thousands of years ago.
Right.
Too, as well than that.
Right.
I'm thinking no at this point. And then can he time travel? Like really time travel?
Like put himself in a different scene.
Because I'm convinced that he is the old man in the tree, but here's what my new theory is on this, as far as how this works. I think he's going to warg into somebody in the past and take over that person's body and take them to the tree.
And we've already seen him kind of doing that with Hodor.
Exactly.
And that's with him doing snippets, so it could very well be that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Did you, speaking of Hodor and his name, did you see the meme this week where it's, Hodor, hold the door, Hodor, Hodor. Then with Danny it was, bend the knee, bend Danny.
I didn't. Yeah. That's funny.
Alright, so Chaos that was just such a great poll. It's such a great speech. And by the way, this is fantastic.
Isn't this?
Yeah.
Well, that's why this was like $14 for 4 beers. It only comes out once a year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good stuff.
I always make myself feel better about those $14 4-packs by thinking like, well, you buy these bombers, these limited edition bombers where it's 25 for 22 ounces.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Anyway, that's how you comfort yourself when craft beer is your hobby. You just compare it to something worse. Alright, so then Mira comes in and they have a not so fun goodbye.
But this just again confirms that Bran isn't Bran.
He's post-human at this point.
Yeah.
I liked that though.
Yeah.
I liked that conversation because he was like you died in the tree, and he was kind of like, yep, I did, and now he's a different person. And I think that might be Sansa. If we're sticking at Winterfell, I think that Sansa is feeling, especially now, watching Arya do that sword stuff with Brienne, she is feeling way distant to all of her family at this point. She is a completely different breed. She sees that Bran is just somebody she doesn't even know anymore. Arya is apparently a fantastic warrior that she didn't know about.
Right.
And now she is a leader. They're just 3 separate people.
Which is going to make it a lot easier for her mentally when she makes that attempt on Bran's life.
She's going to make an attempt on
She's going to be behind it. Maybe it's Littlefinger pulling the strings, but my prediction was Sansa will be part of an attempt on Bran's life. Yes.
Really?
And now so my Dothraki prediction that Dany's going to lose control of the Dothraki, I'm just going to concede defeat on that one. I was wrong, but my prediction that somebody's going to make an attempt on Bran's life. Well, I said Sansa, but I'm convinced that someone's going to make that attempt on Bran's life. So I'm going to tentatively claim half a point on that one. With a full point potential still out there.
You're claiming half a point before anything has started. If anything, Littlefinger is going to be the one that wants to kill Bran.
I can lose the point later.
Because Littlefinger's mind, he's realized that Bran is different because Sansa said something to him at this point.
But as long as Sansa's involved, I get my point.
I don't know that.
Because Littlefinger's always pulling the strings.
Yeah, but I don't know that same.
Sansa's going to be involved.
Okay.
I mean, I gotta commit to that position at this point. But yeah.
But it's clearly Littlefinger, if he's like the conversation that he had in last week's episode where it's like you have to think in every single direction. Right now, one of the directions that he's thinking is Bran somehow learned a skill where he can look back at the past. So if he can see that scene, that means he can see everything that I've ever done, and I don't want that to get out.
That's a really specific goal.
Yeah. Like,
remember that one time you were in a room alone with someone and you said chaos is a ladder? I saw that too.
right, and now that person is dead. No, who did you say that to?
I don't remember.
Was it Varys?
I
Because it was while they were. It was during the
Varys.
climb.
Yeah.
But he said that. And I don't remember. Maybe he said it to Sansa.
It could be.
I don't know.
Well, if he
Either
said it
way.
to Sansa, that introduces some ambiguity in Littlefinger's mind. Because Sansa could have told him about it.
True. So then he's going to need to wait for something else to happen.
So we need to figure out who he said that to.
All right. So
Again, the
in the
internet will
comments,
tell you.
Somebody will do it.
yeah.
I love the internet. You don't have to do any research.
Yeah.
Somebody's already done it.
We don't have to. Yeah. We'll just look at our comments.
That's
hopefully.
like how I do my job. So I work with databases. It's like, do I need to figure out this problem? No, someone else has already done it. I'll just go Google it until I find the answer.
Oh,
This is like
lucky
an
you.
insight into my career
This is
right
it.
now.
Switch
Okay, so
careers.
Arya does arrive. Now, I thought there was a chance, not a big chance, but a small chance that Arya was going to turn back and start heading south after her encounter with Nymeria. But that's not the case, obviously. So here she is at Winterfell. She has 2 reunions. The first with Sansa, and that was awkward. Do I have to call you Lady Stark? Yes!
But that's like, I mean, they're sisters and they've always.
But then they
Not
kind of did
on the
the
same
just
page.
kidding, but I'm really not laugh. And then
I like
Cersei was
that.
on top of my list. My
that,
And then Brand's
that
like,
was
yes.
awkward. And then Brandon was like, oh yeah, she has a list.
She has a list.
Yes.
It's like, who else is on your list? I wish you would have listed them off again. It's been a while.
Yeah, so I did Google it because we were wondering if Littlefinger was on the list. And obviously there's some ambiguity here of show versus books. I think what I was looking at was the show, and at least on the list I looked at, Littlefinger was not on it.
I didn't think that he was.
No, because she doesn't. She's not that high up.
Right,
to be able
especially
to
not
know,
back then.
Not back then to know that Littlefinger's behind a lot of this stuff.
Right?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because when you cast like child or youngish actors, you never know how it's going to go in a series like this so many years later. But Arya in the books is described as looking so much like Ned. You would totally buy Maisie Williams as Sean Bean's daughter, like the way she looks now. It's
Well, yeah,
She
it's
really is-
short hair with the ponytail in the
yeah,
back.
but just the
though,
facial
that-
features. It's like she's totally grown into her part
Yeah,
with the way she's described in the books.
right. And from what I hear, her acting career outside of Game of Thrones has actually taken off too. So.
Has it? I haven't seen her in anything.
I thought she was in some couple other movies.
Sansa was in
These other things.
that X-Men movie that everyone
That was
hated.
weird. All I could think of was Sansa.
Well, I didn't see
Sansa.
it, yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. It's like Elijah Wood after Lord of the Rings. He hasn't been in anything, hardly, you know?
Yeah. Well, some people just don't want to be in anything anymore.
Yeah, or, you know, look at Star Wars. Mark Hamill has a voice acting career, but he hasn't done anything. You know,
Right.
Harrison Ford is in everything, but that's it.
That's true, but
Yeah.
Harrison Ford was in stuff before then too.
Not really.
Isn't
He was a
Raiders
bit
of the Lost
player.
Ark?
That's
That's
after.
after?
He was a bit player, and actually, this is how he got the role. Is that you watch Francis Ford Coppola's '70s movies? He has a bit part in The Conversation and in Apocalypse Now, and he's just a nobody. And Francis Ford Coppola is friends with George Lucas. That's how he got the part.
Oh,
Yeah, so you go watch those movies from the '70s, and it's like Harrison Ford shows up in the nobody role, where you would never expect this huge actor
right.
to
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So then Sansa asks the important question, who else is on your list? Am I on your list?
Yeah, right. That's what choose implies.
And the answer, I think, is not yet.
The answer right now for her is no. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she's not gonna say not yet. It's her sister. She's gonna have to do something awfully horrible.
And she will, when she
And
tries
she
to
will.
kill Bran.
Well,
Or John.
Right, so I
Or
also think my
exiles
prediction...
John, and
Yes, so my prediction of a coup in the north.
especially if John has to bend the knee.
well, it's
Yes.
not. I mean, is John ruling Dragonstone right now? Kind of. I'm just saying, like.
We're not
Is it
sure
an
who's in
exile,
We're not-
charge.
or is it a?
Does it matter? It's an island.
I'm
It's
just
like-
saying,
and
it's
you'll
not
relate
that
to
much of an
this.
exile if
Yeah.
he's like.
It's like when the
losing
teacher
power.
leaves the room. Who's in charge?
Right. Johnny's in charge. It's like,
Yes.
alright, Johnny's not really in charge. You know, Joe
Yeah.
over here is
Right.
definitely in charge.
Exactly. Who's in charge?
Right.
Miss Sandy's in charge. No, John's in
No,
charge.
John's gonna be in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the way the whole bend the knee thing is going to resolve this with Sansa's coup.
Yeah. So John will bend the knee, which is ironic because that's what got his father Ned. Well, that's what got Ned killed.
Yeah.
Was bending the knee. Wow.
Well, I think it's going to be a chicken and egg thing. So, will
Right.
Sansa stage her coup because Jon bends the knee, or will Jon bend the knee because Sansa stages her coup?
John will bend the knee and Sansa will stage the coup.
I'm going to say it's going to go the other way.
Really?
I think Sansa stages her coup, and then Jon says, "What do I have to lose?"
Well,
You
it
said
depends
you
on
would
how
fight
it
to the
depends on how
north.
long John stays there.
Well, he
'Cause
seems
if-
to be moving in.
Well, yeah. So if John is gonna,
He's
if
picking
John
up
is
grapes.
staying there, then the people in the north are gonna be like, he's never coming back, and Sansa's
Exactly.
gonna be like, well, then I'll just be in charge, and everybody's gonna say, great, that sounds good.
Exactly.
And John's gonna be like, wait, I thought I was here, but he doesn't really want
They
it.
already
so-
were hinting at that scenario with the interaction between Arya and the guards. Oh, Jon Snow's thousands of miles away. Like they're,
They kind of
look for
Grab
Lady
them.
Stark. It's
Right.
yeah.
And
Jon's
that's a Stark,
not in
not
control.
a.
Exactly.
But he was only there for 2 weeks before he took off.
Exactly.
Anyways. It'll be interesting in the books to see how long he's there before he takes off.
That's true. The portals are very active on Westeros these days.
Yes,
Yes.
I mean the Horde
Yes.
got there in no time flat.
Yeah, I really would like to look at a map at where's Dragonstone and
Yeah.
where is
And how did they get
King's
around
Landing
everything
and how-
and over there?
Well, those are at least relatively close together. It's like, again, Canada. The North is Canada. It really is. It's like you look at a map of Westeros and there's everything, and then there's the North. And the North is as big as everything else.
right,
But no one lives there.
right.
Yeah. Alright, what else happened here? Oh, we had, so Brienne and Pod finally had something to do.
And I still like them hanging around. I mean, I feel like their characters have done enough to progress the plot over the years that
Yeah.
it's worth keeping them around. They're kind of training a little bit. That's great, and they're both going to die doing something heroic, and we're just
Yeah.
kind of waiting for that to happen.
I did like Pod's lame attempt at encouragement. You did it, Brienne! You saved the Stark girls!
Yeah, it's like they both showed up.
They're
at the same
back!
place you did.
Right.
Declare
Yeah.
victory.
Right.
Yeah. And then am I missing anything else with Winterfell? I don't think so. But I do think that, Sansa looking down on Arya.
Did we say anything about Arya reuniting with Bran? I mean,
A little
I
bit.
don't know if there's anything else to say. But just
I think Arya will be relative.
he got the dagger.
Right.
We didn't talk about that.
That's true. So who's she gonna kill with it?
She can't kill
Sansa.
Joffrey with it.
Sansa in season 8.
So-
She's going to kill Sansa. So
Well, let's assume that she'll just kill the rest of the. Because who's left on her list? Okay, so pull up that list. Do you have it quick?
yeah, my phone
Oh,
over here.
jeez. Alright. So I feel like we have Sir Ilan Payne, who might be just dead from old age at this point.
And was really a non-factor in the show.
Right,
So
but that
we're
doesn't
gonna-
mean that she's not. That he's still on the list. Like, she still wants to kill him.
This is true.
And so.
Obviously Cersei.
I feel like that's gonna like open an episode one day, is she's just gonna like walk into his little like lair in King's Landing and just be like, "Do you know who I am?" And then she'll say something.
And then
just
he won't say anything.
slit his, because he's got his,
Yeah.
and then just slit his
Alright.
throat and move on.
Walder Frey,
Done.
Cersei,
Not dead.
the Mountain,
Kinda dead.
but it's going to be the Hound who
Yeah.
kills him. The Hound,
Yeah.
she's not going to kill the Hound. Melisandre,
Oh.
she might kill
Oh.
Melisandre because
No,
Melisandre.
Melisandre took off.
Yeah,
No,
but
but she
he's
said
coming back to
Varys
die.
said
Oh yeah.
you'll come back to this land, and she said yes one more time because I'm going to die here just like you.
Right.
Beric Dondarrion. This must be a book list. So for selling
Well,
Gendry
we
to
did see,
Melisandre.
we've seen Beric lately,
Yeah.
so he could come back and.
Yeah, that's
But-
true.
I don't know.
Thoros of Myr, again
That's-
for selling Gendry to Melisandre.
Right.
Ilan Payne, Sir Meryn Trant.
He's dead.
Killed
Yeah, she killed
Syrio.
him.
Yep. Joffrey
Dead.
and Tywin Lannister.
Dead.
Okay.
So we have Cersei and some people that she probably won't kill.
Yeah.
Maybe
Cersei's the only one they keep talking about. That's kind of why I feel like she might kill him. Or her.
No, she's going to kill surrogate Cersei, which will be Sansa.
I don't know if they can pull that off in
just
7
Oh,
or
they
9
totally
episodes
can.
here.
They got
There's
halfway
a lot
there
that
tonight.
can happen.
Oh boy.
Again, think about it like you have a 9-hour movie to watch. A lot can happen in a 9-hour movie.
That's alright. Well, when you put it that way.
Or, as I was telling you about Satan Tango, the 7-hour Hungarian
Right, yeah.
movie, nothing happens. It's wonderful. Just 7 hours of poor people walking around in mud. But
Oh, well, there you go.
no, like the opening shot of that movie is just 10 minutes of cows running around. It's an experience. Not to be missed. It is actually great, but with a certain level of appreciation.
Pass, yes.
And alcohol?
Yeah.
There may have been some alcohol involved, but I did watch it in one day, so I'm proud of that. Or maybe I should be ashamed of that. I'm not sure. All right.
Okay, let's get to
So,
the battle.
Danny, Miss Sandy, what happened with Grey Worm? Many things.
Mhm.
Just
One
one.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, man, what?
Man, I want Miss Sandy to die. I'm just sick of that character.
Yeah.
Well, she might be the ruler of dragons.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
point.
We're not sure. We didn't even know Danny left.
Nope.
But that was the point, though.
Yeah. We had the dragon glass mines with the children of the forest hieroglyphs.
That was-
You know what, though? He sold her on it with that.
Well, they're very accurate pictures.
Yeah, they
Yes.
are. Well, they made the
Well,
White Walkers, right? They should
Yeah,
be
they
very
made them.
accurate.
They know.
I just like how the blue eyes have remained completely blue.
Well, no, the blue eyes were gemstones.
Okay.
If you look close.
I didn't look close enough, I guess.
Okay, I did.
I just
You're a geology
no, well, yeah, because I was sitting in there, and they're going to this cave, and I was like, okay, because I was thinking about like what kind of rock that is. It's either a gneiss or a schist.
that wasn't what
depending
I
on
was thinking about.
What type or what part of the island
See,
you're on.
that's
And
your
then I'm
version
trying
of the
to-
7-hour Hungarian movie.
Well, then I'm trying to remember where obsidian comes from, and I'm pretty sure that obsidian is an igneous rock, not a metamorphic
Yeah.
rock. But the island surrounding it is a metamorphic rock, so it seems illogical that there'd be a igneous rock. Well, but the igneous rock is inside. I don't know. There was a whole thing going on during
Yeah.
that scene for
Wow.
me, as from a geology perspective. So,
But gemstones,
Yeah,
got it.
that-
but
I missed
gemstones.
all that.
There you go.
Anyway, yes.
But children of the forest were there.
The children of the forest were there, which is cool to see them that far south because I would imagine that most of their remnants from the rest of the Seven Kingdoms are gone,
Yeah.
except for in the north.
Right.
So it's kind of cool to see
That
that
was
they
cool.
were everywhere in Westeros, and I think that was a
Yep.
really good selling point for Jon to be like,
Yes.
do you see, like, this is it, this is our enemy, and Dany was a little more taken aback than I thought she would be, just because of what she's seen in her life, but
And I think it was good that the show's talking about the children of the forest more too, because it feels like in the books it gets brought up a lot more, and we didn't. So that
Yeah.
this is
right.
another like key part of the history of the world.
Right.
And, yeah.
But he's got a bend in that knee. Nothing's gonna happen until he bends the knee.
Well, that's what she
Yeah.
said, but then.
well, until he finds out that he's a Targaryen.
Right. There's
And
a
then
lot of pieces that still have to fall there.
Right, and so if he finds out he's a Targaryen before he bends the knee, then
Right. And then we have this conversation about don't use the dragons, which I'm going to talk a bit more about when we get to the battle. And then Theon shows up. That was an awkward
Yes.
reunion.
that was yeah.
Hi,
I had
John.
forgotten that. I guess when I saw that, the only thing I could think of was when he was told to go back and get his family to come with in
Right.
season 3, and then he didn't.
Yeah.
And that's that's what I remembered. That's what I thought that John was remembering, but I forgot that he had saved Sansa at
Right.
that point. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Okay, that's the only reason you're not going to kill him. Okay, that makes sense now.
Plus, I already lost my dick job.
That's true. That's all you should say. To be like, hi, Jon. I've already lost my dick and like 5 fingers. I think we're good.
Well, you know who hasn't lost his dick? Is Dick On. Which I kind of love that they made a joke about that name because it's. And Bronn was the only character to get away with making the Dick On joke. That was pretty great. Okay, so the battle scene.
Yeah. Wow.
You finally got the dragons.
Yes.
So and Dany did have.
Well, that's not true. I got one dragon.
A dragon.
Still.
Bless you. I really like that scene.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was nice to finally see a victory. That was good. Because I feel like it's just been so long since we've seen Dany have a victory. I mean, since she took Marine in season 4?
A long time ago.
I mean, it's season 7? Maybe it was season 5. I don't know. But it's been a long time since Dany has had a victory of any sort.
Right.
And so it was really nice to see that. And I think that it's clear that the use of the dragons doesn't have to be specifically against the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, just breaking a line like that was good enough.
But, so, I had a couple thoughts. I was vacillating as I was watching it because, first I had the same thought as you, which is that it's kind of dumb that we've been acting like it's a binary choice between use the dragons against King's Landing or don't use the dragons.
Right.
There's this third option. It seems like a happy medium.
Right.
But then the show certainly treated it as though she committed an atrocity, like mustard gas in World War I or something like that. I mean, people crumbling to ashes on the front lines.
Yeah,
so did Dany commit an atrocity in this episode?
No, she committed an act of war. I don't know that I would judge it an atrocity.
Right.
Because when you do something to...
I mean, what about the wildfire from way back in season 2? I mean...
It's true. It's true.
Did that cause a
destruction? So if that's the case, that's true. That's a really good comparison. Was the wildfire any better than what Dany did? And I would say no.
I would say that they're both acts of war. I feel like...
Now, if she goes and takes the dragon and goes just burning down King's Landing...
So, but this is a problem then because the show wants us to look at it as though she committed an atrocity.
Do you think so?
Absolutely, yeah. That's the way
the way that they were really emphasizing, like, the burning people, the people on fire, like...
And I think that...
Like, I don't think...
What have we done? What have we done?
I don't think that they would view it as an atrocity. I think that Tyrion is surprised at how well things were turning out.
Oh, I think he watched that scene again. He's like...
That's his family's army. I think that he has a specific...
No, he doesn't care about his family.
Oh, I think he still cares.
He cares about Jaime still.
Well, that goes to my other prediction that Tyrion's going to switch sides and becomes Jon's hand.
Yeah, but okay, that's different. So let's talk about the scene first. So, you think that they want us to think that that's an atrocity?
I think the show wants us to look at it as Dany just crossed the line.
Well, they did a very poor job of doing that.
I mean, you did get the setup that all of her advisors were like, hey, don't...
Yeah, her
do the dragons.
number one advisor, Miss Sandy.
Right.
Most trusted advisor.
Right. But I don't know. I mean, these are the people that just bait and switched you with Caster Rock.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make... It makes sense that she would retaliate.
I think the analogy the show wants us to take is that it's the difference between two armies going to war, even in a brutal sense, and the use of chemical warfare.
But isn't that the point of having dragons?
Right, but like I think that just as in modern warfare, we make a distinction
between like
ethically
mustard gas
or chemical warfare and standard warfare. I think they're wanting us to make the same distinction between the dragons and the Dothraki.
Right. Okay, I can see that, but
I'm not saying I buy that. I'm not sure that's a correct distinction, but I think that's what the show is wanting us to see.
Yes, I would. Okay, I can get on board with that. I don't know. the show wants it to be, yeah. But at the same time, if no citizens are hurt, nobody cares. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the people in King's Landing are going to be like, oh my gosh, this whole army was destroyed, but it wasn't them, so it's okay.
But again, the counterpoint is, and I'm selling this better than the show did right now, because of course I can bring in other examples, but I think this is where they're trying to get our mindset to, is that in World War I with mustard gas there are no civilians involved when you're in the trenches with trench warfare.
That's fair, yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to sell us on, is that Dany crossed the line into chemical warfare territory. In that ethically, in the modern world, it's agreed upon that there are certain types of warfare that are less ethical than others. So Dany using the dragons against King's Landing would be like Hiroshima. Dany using the dragon in the way she did tonight was like chemical warfare in World War I.
But it still feels to me like the Blackwater and like wildfire, like
right.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm saying it's not necessarily a convincing case on the show's part.
Yeah,
but that's what they're wanting you to get to.
But then, so would you say that that Dany burning all those ships with her dragon back in Marine is on the same scale?
Right. Yeah, that's where the show I think is being inconsistent here. But you look at the way they edited that sequence, and the music they edited it with, and the way Tyrion's looking on, like
Tyrion did look horrified.
Well, what have we done?
Yeah.
So yes, the show is having it both ways, completely.
Right. So they're doing and this is probably a scene that George R. R. Martin is rewriting 7 times because he wants to make sure that it gets done.
Now the interesting thing, if we can, just for the sake of moving on to the point the show's trying to make, recognizing that maybe they're doing it poorly or certainly with inconsistencies, is that we in the audience then have been put in a position where we're cheering for atrocities. That is one of the most fascinating things I think that stories like this can do, is to put you as an audience in a position where you are cheering for something that you ought to find morally repugnant.
Yeah. I mean, I was happy that she used the dragon.
Yes, exactly. Issue, right? Exactly.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's a show. If I watch that in real life, I feel like I feel different. Right. But maybe I wouldn't. But either way, I'm cheering for... But it's the same thing like a House of Cards type of deal.
Yes.
Like you're cheering for Frank Underwood, even though he's an evil, evil person. For whatever reason, you just want him to win.
I would argue that that's part of what art should do, is it lets you try on different scenarios in a non-threatening way and then reveals to you your own inner sadist.
I don't have an own inner sadist.
So, granting that the show is doing it in a clumsy way,
yes,
and in an inconsistent way, yes, I think they're doing... I like the effect that they're trying to get to, that we're all sitting there like, bring on the dragons! And then the show shows you've been cheering for atrocities the entire time.
But I think if the dragons were used on civilians and not on the army, I think we'd have a completely different feel for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're talking about World War I and
exactly
and stuff,
I mean, there's more than 2 levels. It's not a binary choice.
Right.
It definitely makes you think, though, too, like what you said, like with Tyrion being there and watching what happened, and he's on the winning side, but he didn't seem very happy about winning. You know, he's pretty concerned about what's going on, and then just seeing Jaime last episode, you know, his army came and took Highgarden, and you know, he was like this commander, and now he's like in the middle of this chaos, and
and
just seeing that.
Yeah. And I do want to spend a second
questioning
Bran or Bronn too. Bran.
I thought you said Bronn.
Bronn. I was like, Bronn. Don't you know Ron?
Bronn.
No, Bronn. Because I think hopefully a lot of people felt this way. When he was manning that, it was either Bronn is going to die or this dragon is going to die.
Yep.
And both options for a viewer are absolutely terrible because hopefully there's not a lot of people that don't like Bronn as a character.
Yeah, Bronn's great.
Right. And all of a sudden, he's the one that's either going to kill a dragon, assumingly, or like he's the one who's going to die. And we don't want either of those things to happen, but I feel like the show put us in a position where one of our favorite characters is going to die, and you need to make a decision on which one that's going to be right now.
Right.
And it was like, well, I don't want anybody to die. And they did end up, nobody died, but it's still...
Yeah.
I think it would have ended better if one of them would have.
For the purpose of the scene, yes. For the purpose of the show, no.
Yeah. Well, because Bronn has to,
Bronn has to switch sides, and we need our dragons.
So maybe Dickon should have been the one.
Dickon, yes.
But then I don't care about Dickon. See,
Dickon.
that's the deal.
Yeah.
I wish there would have been a character with, like a Bronn-style character with, that we could have actually seen that. And we still have 9 episodes left of the entire series where we're hopefully going to see a good character against a good character, and one of them is going to die.
Yep.
And we're going to have to come to terms with that. Because right now there doesn't seem to be a lot. There's not a significant difference between good and evil. At least the way the show wants to set it up, which is the way that George R. R. Martin, I'm assuming, wants to set
The
it
way
up.
a lot of
Yeah. Right.
it's not so black and white.
Alright, I gotta pee.
I'm gonna leave so these guys can smoke.
Okay.
All right. We'll take
We'll,
a.
talk more
we'll come
after.
back in a minute. Alright,
We'll
goodbye.
switch seats. All right.
Yes.
Alright.
Alright. Well, here we are. That,
Again?
yeah, so what percentage is this? This guy started to catch up with me there for a minute.
Well, give me a minute. Ugh.
I think it's percentage a lot.
Percentage of. They have directions on the bottom of their box and how to get there and the times you can watch a brewery tour.
We can look it up here.
Yeah, that's not on the box. That's probably
What's
not
it
a
called?
good
Central
sign.
Waters Scotch?
Central Waters Scotch Ale Brewers Reserve Bourbon
Alright.
Barrel.
This is 11%.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot.
Is that significant?
That's significant.
It felt significant on my first sip. I was
Yes.
like, yeah, we're gonna take.
Anything over 10% is fairly
It's gonna
significant.
take an hour to drink this one at once.
Yeah. So we'll go with you here till our battery runs out on the camera, which looks like it'll be relatively soon.
Okay. Well, we have to do that theory.
Yeah.
Can we plug it in? Is that a thing we can do?
But we'll get there.
Alright.
If we have to, we'll plug it in and start again.
Alright. There's gonna be lots of breaks in this episode.
Yeah. But yes, I'm smoking this classic Cavendish that I get from Tobacco Grove. I've decided that's my go-to tobacco.
Isn't it great?
It is
No,
great.
it's right by me. You should invite me next time you go.
I
Still
will.
I've got my 9 to 5 from Tobacco
Nice.
Grove.
Yeah, so here we are smoking, but you know, you've been biking lately a little bit
Yeah.
more. I've realized, so I do a century ride every year, and that was yesterday. That's a 100-mile ride. And the century ride is the perfect, biking is the perfect sport for guys like us. It is the dad sport. There are so many guys out there who are like 30 to 50 with beer
Yeah.
guts. I mean, this is
You only have to work your legs.
exactly. You can do amazing things as a cyclist and still look like we do.
Mhm.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, I did like 50 miles today. And I'm just like, I look at them and I'm like,
Exactly.
I don't think I can do 50 miles. But
No, but see, it's the greatest sport for guys like us. It is. I've decided that cycling is the beer gut dad sport.
yes,
If you're a dad with a beer gut, you take up cycling, then you don't have to feel as bad about drinking your beers.
right.
Like the last time I was at the doctor, he's like, well, you could lose a few pounds. I'm like, well, I feel like cycling is offsetting that.
Right.
You know, I believe in diet or exercise, not diet and exercise.
Diet is like 95% more effective than exercise, I think, losing weight. But
Well, them's the breaks. Alright, well, what do we got here?
I wanna So where did we leave off before she left? Because we kind of left it like a weird...
Yeah, sorry, I had to pee really bad.
Yeah, geez, kind of name. So we kind of left that last scene.
We left you were endorsing atrocities.
I was.
Yes.
Only when Dany's atrocitizing.
Yes.
Okay. I guess, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's weird because if Stannis would have brought in the wildfire and took over King's Landing, we'd all be cheering that too.
Right.
It's all about...
Were we cheering for Stannis at that point? I feel like we were cheering for Tyrion.
Oh, that's right, yeah, alright. We're kind of cheering for Tyrion. But now Tyrion has committed just as bad an atrocity as was... Actually, that's not true. Tyrion committed far more an atrocity than... Tyrion destroyed an entire army. This is...
That's true.
Less than half of an army, because apparently half of it's already made it to King's Landing.
Yeah.
So now we've killed a quarter of an army with one dragon and some Dothraki.
Yeah.
And he killed an entire army with wildfire. Like...
Right.
Is it tit for tat in war like that? Is it... I don't know. These are the discussions that I'm assuming that George R. R. Martin wants us to have. But.
Right. But yeah, both in the books and the show, the wildfire Tyrion uses feels fairly inconsequential in terms of morality. It's just sort of the name of the game when it comes to war. But they were certainly trying to get us to think that, oh no, Dany just used her dragons.
She only used one. I don't know. And it was against... Hey...
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Bring on the dragons, just burn them all.
Right. Well, if the prophecy that we saw was true, where she's sitting on an iron throne where King's Landing literally no longer exists in the middle of winter, like...
That's where we're going to get to.
And if that's where we're going to get to, then was it all worth it? Did it all really matter in the first place? And that's probably going to be the question.
This was the gateway drug, and it's going to get a lot worse in terms of what Dany actually does.
Right, this will be this is the pot. You're like, yeah, but pot wasn't so bad.
Exactly.
Like,
She'll be on cocaine next
like,
week.
Fine. Like, you can just start to convince yourself that it's okay, and then you start to look back and you're like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah. Now, are you familiar with, sorry, I do have this fan jerked up because it feels a lot better when it's on.
I'll just stand over here. You talk or something.
Are you familiar with TheRinger.com?
Mm-mm.
That's Bill Simmons' new site after Grantland went under.
Oh.
So, I didn't realize this till I was up hanging out with the Rainies last weekend. But TheRinger.com apparently has like a fantasy game with Game of Thrones. Like, kind of like fantasy football, this fantasy Game of Thrones, where you get to predict who's going to die each week. And then during the season, you can only choose the same characters twice. So, we're a little late in the game, but who's going to die next week?
Next week?
Yeah.
Do we look up the episode name?
No.
Yeah, I got it pulled up here.
Okay.
Well, I had it pulled up.
Well.
Good. Terrible internet up here.
Yeah.
It is called Blood of the Dragon.
So we'll find out Jon's going to learn he's a Targaryen next week.
Through a raven? How's he going to learn that? He's not going to make it all the way. The raven's going to be like, Jon, you are a Targaryen.
Somebody's going to learn. That's got to be what that means. Blood.
Sansa and Littlefinger are going to learn.
Somebody's going to learn. I mean, that's got to be about Jon. And never forget that Bran can warg, so he could warg into Miss Sandy. Maybe he kills her. That'd be okay.
But how? Maybe there has to be a weirwood tree on the... No?
I was wondering about this, but it appears that Bran's powers go beyond the weirwood tree.
But in the book, I feel like they're very big on weirwood trees can see things. And so when they start cutting down the weirwood trees, we're unable to see those parts anymore.
but Littlefinger didn't make his Chaos as a ladder speech in front of the Werewood tree.
Yeah, but that's the show, not the
Yeah,
series.
so the show, he might just
in the
walk
show,
into-
it might just, yeah. That's a long ways. He had to touch Hodor.
That's true, but
Hodor
he's
was
much
a
more
dunce,
power.
so-
Yeah. Yeah,
A
he's
simple man.
a simple man.
I don't know. I don't buy it.
All right.
He's
So
gonna die.
I have a new theory. Uh-oh. Did it just turn off?
Yeah.
Let's see if I plug it in after it starts recording. Hello.
Oh boy, here we go.
All right. Well, we'll see how long this lasts.
The whole time.
So, the battery died. I plugged it in for a while, charged it, and then I started it and plugged it back in. So we'll see if that works. But anyway, let's get to the main event here after I relight my pipe.
So the fan theory this week is one of a couple. So I think the plan for me is that we do one every single week because I just think that there are
There's so many. Yeah.
There's so many good ones. The mermaid one may be the best one. I think we might have started with our
We
finale.
peaked too soon.
Yeah, right. But this one is pretty. The title intrigues me. I haven't read it at all in either.
Yeah, this is brand new. So I've been familiar with the Merman one for a while. Not necessarily all the details we read, but the general concept. This is Jon Snow is possessed by the ghost of Stannis. So let's see how that goes. All right. And again, this is on tinfoilfantheories.com.
Is this specifically Game of Thrones theories?
No, but
Okay.
they have
They have a section for
They have
it.
a
or whatever?
section, yes. Okay. Game of Thrones fans around the world celebrated when Jon Snow was unexpectedly brought back to life. It was not unexpected in Season 6 of Game of Thrones. But what if he wasn't? Can we be sure that the man walking around in Jon Snow's body is actually Jon Snow? There's actually far more evidence to suggest that it is actually, they've used the word actually quite a few times already, the ghost of Stannis possessing his body. Okay, then we have several bullet points. Number 1, Melisandre calls Jon the prince that was promised. Previously, she had called Stannis this. It is suspicious that she is calling Jon the same name. If it is Jon, that is. Alright, number 2. Stannis' best friends were Melisandre and Davos. The newly resurrected Jon Snow's best friends are Melisandre and Davos and Sam and a lot of other people. Never mind
Right.
that. Davos even lays his life on the line for Jon and is desperate to have him brought back to life or to use his body as a vessel for Stannis' true king. He is willing to die to protect Jon from the Night's Watch. Would Davos really risk so much for a perfect stranger? No. It makes no sense. Unless he knows it is Stannis inside Jon. Okay. Even if this theory is true, there's no way that Davos is in on it. That doesn't make any
No,
sense.
he's too good of a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, number 3. The resurrected Jon also does not care about the people who were his friends. He is very dismissive towards the Night's Watch, being mean to Ed, even killing his squire for being a traitor. A very Stannis-like action. No, that's a very Ned-like action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Okay. 4. The first thing the resurrected Jon Snow does is to kill the traitorous members of the Night Watch. Go ahead.
That makes sense. Like,
Yes.
The first thing you do if you come back to life, or like if I was stabbed and then I came back and then somebody revived me or whatever.
No. This is very important because it shows it must be Stannis inside him. We have previously seen that Jon killed traitors with a personal touch by cutting off their heads. This new Jon instead uses the impersonal method of specifically constructed gallows. He then had their bodies burnt with fire, another of Stannis' hobbies. I'll give him half a point for that one.
I'll give him, yeah. I will, yeah.
It is more impersonal. It's not the Ned way.
It's not the Ned way, but he's not Ned Stark's son.
Okay, number 5. That's true. Number 5, Jon Snow is definitely dead as we saw him stabbed to bits by the Night's Watch. However, we never saw Stannis die. Whoa, stop, time out. This theory is supposed to be the ghost of Stannis possessing Jon Snow.
Well, let's keep reading.
Okay. It is entirely possible that during the confrontation with Brienne, Stannis warped his soul into Melisandre's necklace to escape.
Whoa.
I don't think that's entirely possible.
We don't know a lot about. We know. Oh, okay. So, spoiler alert for book theory stuff, though, right?
Right.
That necklace does have powers.
Yes.
And so.
But Stannis doesn't know how to ward. That's a pretty big hole.
But in the books versus the show, we could have some sort of like, he's wearing the necklace. Like she leaves him with the necklace, and then she goes back to camp in the book. You know what I mean? And so then he's able to like keep himself in the necklace, and somebody brings that back to her.
Yeah, but based on the show, the necklace is nowhere near him.
Yeah, but maybe he didn't tell that part. Maybe George R. R. Martin didn't tell that part to them.
That's true. The necklace has to be there because it's really Stannis.
Right. So I'll give him half point for that one. Where in the books it could turn out that's the case, but Stannis does not know how to ward. But it could be something where Melisandre's necklace is involved. So we have 2 half a points here. We've read 7 points.
Remember, there's one big revelation that the showrunner said is still out there.
Right.
They were shocked by. Okay. So Stannis warped into her necklace. Melisandre then placed his soul into Jon's body. What of Jon's soul? Where did it go? Possibly to hell. Well, that's a downer. As Jon betrayed the Night's Watch. However, a more obvious answer is that he warped his soul into Ghost, his wolf. The name of Ghost indicates that he does indeed have a ghost living inside him. Or it indicates that he's just all white, and Jon named him Ghost.
Like in season 1, the first episode where they found them.
Now we have the situation where Stannis Jon, that's hyphenated by the way, is palling around with Jon Ghost, also hyphenated, but will Jon want to get back inside his body? That's going in kind of a creepy direction. It is kind of
weird though that we haven't seen Ghost in a very long time.
That's true.
When was the last? I mean, I get it. It's probably like a budget thing. It's probably like the dragons are.
They've never done a good job of showing the dire wolves.
They did a really good job with Nymeria. I felt like that was the first time, size-wise, that they showed a dire wolf at its true size. But to be honest, the other ones have been.
Well, I mean, consistently, the dire wolves just disappear in the show.
It's hard to. I mean. It's like showing a dragon. I mean, I would assume that it's the same amount of work to show a dire wolf as it is to show a dragon.
Yeah, more.
And you're expecting to have one by their side all the time, when we don't expect the dragons. Because I mean, today this episode was the first one where we actually saw a dragon up close in a very long time.
Yes.
Since probably she left the arena.
Right.
And so, otherwise, it's been kind of far off in the distance, like. You can create that in a computer fairly easily without a whole bunch of images and shadows and stuff. So.
Yeah. Alright, this next one is going to convince you. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, yes!
When Jon Snow dies, he has delightful curly hair. When he comes back to life, he has short hair like Stannis. No, he doesn't.
In the book, he might say that. In the book, he might say that.
You keep imagining what the book is going to say. They're basing this entirely off the show.
Alright, that's true.
Hair is the window to the soul. That's not a thing.
Hair is the window to the soul.
No one has ever said that before.
You didn't say you haven't heard that before?
I've never heard that before.
Also, I'd like to point out that she had to, like, cut a lock of hair off to, like, burn it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what she did. So if you're trying to convince me that the hair is shorter because she cut it off, it's not. Oh, Jesus.
So, hair is the window to the soul.
Oh my
It
God.
shows a different soul may be present.
I like the mermaid theory is more plausible.
Yes, it is. It's totally more plausible.
God.
All right, number 8. Well, at the wall, Stannis wants to take an army of wildlings and march on Winterfell. Jon Snow does not. Post-resurrection, the first thing Jon Snow does is take a wildling army to march on Winterfell. This is very suspicious.
It's not, though. It's a completely different scenario.
Yes. Okay, the most damning evidence is this.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, because we'll save that for the end because I'm not convinced already. All right.
Everyone thinks the show has deviated from the books. But what if it has not? Book 5 ends with Ramsay sending the pink letter. I think that's the one where he says, come and get me, basically.
Right, yep.
And Stannis' forces camping outside Winterfell. Jon Snow is dead at this point. If the resurrected Jon is actually stems the show once more matches the book, Jon Snow is dead while Stannis marches on Winterfell. The genius twist will shock audiences, make the show more true to the source material, and enable George R. R. Martin to catch up with the action for Book 6, allowing book and show to once more unite perfectly. Yeah, the mermaid theory is more plausible than this.
I'll give him that in the book that Jon dies before Stannis dies, because Stannis doesn't die in the book.
Yes.
I'll give him that, and then I'll give him I'll give him half point. So what do they make, 9 points?
Yeah.
They get a point and a half?
Yeah, point and a half.
Point and a half out of 9 points.
Alright, so I think next week, let's do this one. I just clicked on this again. I don't know it. The Night King wasn't a villain and the White Walkers aren't evil. That could be interesting.
I shared with you something like that a couple of years ago through Facebook. I said, this actually sounds pretty convincing. It's like Jon Snow is actually going to become the leader of the White Walkers to, like...
I mean, it's probably bullshit.
Defeat Daenerys. I think it was defeat Daenerys at that point, but... Yeah. I mean, it's the battle between ice and fire throughout the show proves that there needs to be a battle to find some sort of...
There's no battle between ice and fire. It's a song of ice and fire, not of ice versus fire.
But there needs to be, yeah. Alright, well... But in order for there to be... if you're going to break it down musically, you're really going to come up against me musically?
That's
too?
right.
Yeah. So in order for that to happen, there needs to be ebb and flow between the two. And we've had so much flow towards the fire side for the last, well, in Showtime, 15 years probably, that there needs to be some flow back to the ice side in order to actually make it some sort of song, some sort of melody, some sort of good cohesive unit. Whether or not we like that is up to us, but the show, or at least thematically, it needs to flow back towards the ice side before it can flow back. Now, whether you believe that the ice is the White Walkers, or the ice is Jon Snow in the north, or that's completely undetermined at this point. But there does need to be some ebb and some flow in order to make this cohesive unit work, as there needs to be a back and forth kind of a deal.
Yeah. Well, we'll debate that next week. Yeah, I was going to read one last week and I didn't, because I decided that I was going to read one where it was that Game of Thrones is secretly a sequel to Battlestar Galactica.
Oh my god. Never watched the show, but that's just so...
But you could just rule that out of hand.
Right.
There's no chance that it's going to be like, this is secretly Battlestar Galactica. There are two different networks. It's not going to happen. And the evidence was such that, there's a Melisandre who wears red.
Oh.
Well, there's a character who wears red in Battlestar Galactica.
Just one?
Yeah, just one.
God.
So there you go.
It's better than Star Trek, where the red people always die.
That's right.
That is, yeah.
Star Trek does not deserve its reputation.
No, it doesn't. It's
so boring.
Terrible, awful show. I watched The Next Generation. Is that the one with the woman pilot? I forget her name.
The woman pilot?
The captain, the woman captain.
No, I think that's Voyager.
Oh, I watched Voyager with my parents growing up, I guess.
No, Next Generation is Picard.
Oh yeah, I watched that one too, I guess. So I watched both of those.
Have you ever tried to watch the original series?
I saw the one with the Furbies falling out of the cabin or whatever. There's like open up a cabin. There's Furby, Trouble with Troubles. That's the only one I've seen.
It does not hold up. So I'm sorry, Star Trek fans. Your show sucks. It's so bad. It's like...
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I hate Star Trek. Absolutely hate it.
Well, it's the worst of sci-fi, right?
And I don't mind old shows. And I don't mind old movies.
Clearly, what's the 1920 silent film of
Phantom of the Opera? Yeah. But Star Trek sucks. And that's that.
Anything else I need to rant about tonight?
Probably. I saw The Dark Tower.
I heard about that.
Oh, it's so bad. It was so bad.
I'm so excited to see it.
Don't see it.
But I didn't read the book, so...
You'll still hate it.
Really?
Except you'll be really confused. So, it's really weird because they made a movie for nobody. Because there's so many references in it that you only get if you've read the books. So you'll be completely confused. Uh-oh. Oh, there goes that.
Well, we'll just cut it there.